Welcome to Keeper of Secrets Tarot. I am Gypsy Girl, here to give you another lesson for today. Thank you, Spirit, for protecting the collective and keeping us safe. Thank you for protecting me and keeping me safe. What is the lesson for today? What do we need to learn today? I am grateful that I can come to my deck and bring out a lesson. What is the lesson for today? What does the collective need to learn today? Thank you, Spirit. What do we need to learn today? Not feeling very chatty. It's not even about how I feel. It's there's a lot of that going on about how we feel. What is the lesson for today? The Three of Wands, being able to choose, being able to turn and say, I don't want this because, or I want that because, or I will go in another direction because. Three of Wands. We're dealing with our work. We're dealing with our ethics. We're dealing with what we believe in. Change. This is a card of waiting patiently for something to change. And then finding out that, well, if it's not going to change because I've done this, that, and the other, well, then I need to go off and do something else. I look for the lesson in how we maneuver, because that's what it is, eh? The Three of Wands in the traditional deck is set up in a way that you see the ships off the shore. You're standing on a cliff and you're really far off and high up. So you have a bird's eye view of what's going on. And you see that your effort is coming into fruition. But it's not arrived. And your focus, according to the Three of Wands, is on what to do next if, again, the if here, those ships don't land, because there could, I think you do see a storm off in the distance in some cards, and in others it's just the ships are there and there's rocks, and the chance that the ships are going to crash is where your change of mind comes in, where you say, well, if I lose this, then I'm going to have to do something else. And then you start working out what you're going to do next. Or at least the spark is ignited, because that's where the third wand would come in, because you already have a commitment going on. Okay? To the ships that are supposed to be coming in, because you've already set up the money, the order. Now you're waiting. It's like you're waiting for delivery to come to you, and you've already paid for it, so you're just wanting to collect now. But there's a chance that it won't come. There's always a chance that it won't arrive, and this is where insurance comes in, right? The lesson here is in being able to pivot on a snap. Being able to see that it's okay. If I lose everything, I still have my scruples. I still have the know-how. In fact, I've learned from whatever it is that I'm going to lose, if it is that I do lose it. So you're not really gambling here. Now with the 3, it is a gamble, because you're taking a chance. Again, we look at third parties. We get into situations where it could all explode, or it could just go fine. But it's a chance that you have to take. Now in this card, because I don't really like to push the meaning of the card, but when it does bring in the lesson, because it does, you see we have Medusa's head here, and we have the sword of truth here. And he is our Hercules, if you want. Well, this is actually Perseus. This is Perseus. Perseus is with that energy, that effort to go forward, and that half in and half out, half man, half God kind of expression we have here. But the determination is unstoppable because of the passion, and the passion is on the human side, where you fight for what you believe in, you stand up for what you want, and he's given the shield. And if you know the story in the Greek mythology, if you understand where Perseus comes in, you see how he severs the head of Medusa. He's triumphant, but he is helped. But he fights against the help in the beginning because of his human side. He's angry with the gods. He wants to do things on his own. That's where Ares comes in. But the luck factor from Jupiter is where the gods help him. His persistence is what pleases the gods. Now, the 3s again bring in that chance, that gamble, and then a reward. If you gamble right, if your ships come in because the way you maneuvered, the time of the journey, etc. The weather was fine, you didn't run into any storms, and the ships come in and you win everything. And you get what you want, right? Well, here we have to focus on what the lesson is. And again, it is in the patience, and then being able to pivot on a dime, where you just turn and say, well, I've waited and it didn't work, so I'm doing something else now. And you go freely. Yeah? You don't go kicking and screaming. You go freely to the 4. This is when you go to the 4, higher level of understanding. Because in the 3, you're acquiring that baseline of, I need to make a choice if things don't go right. So what is the tool then? And guess what? Our King of Swords. Well, it couldn't be a better card, because here we have that truth again. That sort of truth. Expressing it, the justice here, you see, the righteousness is what comes from that pivot that we need to make. We have to just decide, okay, you know what, I'm letting go of this and I'm going this way because this is what I believe in. Remember, it's passion, what you're holding on to, what fuels you, what pushes you forward. And then we have the truth. Standing in that balance. We're going from a 3 to a 1 here. And this King of Swords is cold, hard truth. It's a discerning quality that you don't put your emotions into the business side of life, if you will. I refer to the business side simply because I want to stick to the trend of the fact that the 3 here is relating to your work, what you work on. I'll not say your job, but what you're passionate about, what you come into this lifetime to be successful at, your dreams, for example, your desire, your passion, what it is you really want for yourself, things that you work on after work. When I say after work, after giving your day to the company that you may work for, even if it is you're working for yourself, it is a means of survival to have a company and have a job, but at the same time it is your passion. If in respect to, you've put all of what you have into creating your business, for example, and then your business is on it's not going in the way you want to, or your plans have been altered by forces beyond yourself, not your choice, and now you have to deal with that. You see, this is where the judgment call comes in. See, it's my passion, I want to do this, but is it worth my time and effort to continue? Maybe I need to change or go off and do something else. Squash this all together, whatever it is. Those are big decisions to make. This is why I say the King of Swords is like the best card that could come following this, because it is the sense of justice. And when I say justice, I'm not talking about other people. I'm talking about within the self, because this is a personal decision that you need to make. And knowing the difference between right and wrong, and if you should go, which way should you go? And of course, when you have the King of Swords, it's always to the side of righteousness. Being fair, cutting a fair deal, being fair with yourself before you can be fair with others, knowing what you really want, deciding, well, I'm going to learn something out of whatever it is has occurred. And when you do that, you're stepping up. And this is why why I'm saying that this is the best card to come, because it just means that you're elevating, and that step forward to the fourth wand is guaranteed with this king, because you're not going to be spiraling down, you're going to be spiraling up with this king because of the judgment call. So Spirit has given us this ability to discern better because of the predicament that we have brought to ourselves, because of what we love or what we're passionate about. It's like almost like tangling yourself up and then finding your way out. So what else is Spirit doing for us? Spirit has given us, oh boy, all of this know-how about past betrayals. You see, we get a 10 plus the 1. It's a portal that opens up. And when I was doing the elemental readings, I think I mentioned that in a few areas of some of the readings, where portals are opening up. And now is the time. The Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Uranus, Mars, even Mercury, planets are shifting in a way that we're able to see through the fog. We're able to come back around and see, well, this is what I've done, and this is what I've committed myself to, and well, how is it going up until now? You see, and this is where the judgment call comes in, and this is what I want, or this is what is right, and this is what is good and fair to myself. Remember, we're dealing with the self before we can deal with others. And if it is that you're discerning your future because of all of what you've been through, all of the betrayals, experiences, conversation, communication, and dealing with others, you see, we have the justice, and then we have the betrayals. Okay. It's very mental here. Lots and lots of thinking. And this is good, because we need to prepare ourselves to move forward. So Spirit has given us all of what could be betrayal in our life. But at the same time, again, in the traditional deck, we see that it's all dark and very, very solemn, very glum is the word I'm actually looking for, because we see the figure on the laying face down with all the swords sticking out of him, and we know that death is the end here, because it has to. I mean, you can't survive. You cannot survive the betrayals in that sense, where it is the end. It is a culmination. It is death. So the past now, all of what has taken place, gone into the past, is what opens up the door. You see that? Reckoning with what has occurred. Making choice now because of what has occurred. That is why Spirit is giving us all of the know-how in an experience, not just the knowledge, but the experience of betrayal. Because if we don't have that experience, we're not able to make the judgment call. And why are we given this sudden position of making a judgment call? Is because of what we've done in the past. Because the 3 is about what we've accumulated and what we've done so far, what we've committed to. Even if it is just a plan, it's nothing. If we haven't done something physical and it's just all on paper, for example, it's what we believe in, it's what's in our mind, in our hearts. All of a sudden now we're changing. You see, that's what it is. And being able to pivot and say, oh, okay, I walk away from everything because of all of the betrayal. As if it is as easy as breathing, and it is. So what is the gift then? If we're able to just walk away and breathe easy, change our mind. Comes right back to the passion. I always say integrity. You know, when I say integrity, it's all about what you believe in. Again, we're going back to the wands here. After coming through and recognizing and accepting, because this is an acceptance position here in my lesson layout, this is where we are given that understanding, that experience, that realness of life, where we are able to say, yes, I've been betrayed and I know what it feels like. Can't deny that position right here. And because I've been betrayed and because I know what it feels like, I'm changing something. I've decided to change something about me. This is, again, very personal. And we're all going through it. This is, again, referring back to those elemental readings. Culmination upon culmination is happening. We're at the 10 here. In most cases, it is a reflection because of all of what we've been through. And some of us are just recognizing that we are in a betrayal system. Or when I say system, where some of us are going through it for the first time, recognizing and understanding betrayal and having to deal with it. It's very difficult. And some of us are just like, well, here's another one. Adding up to my list of betrayals. Another stroke, having gone through so many. Another one now is just, oh yeah, okay. I'm used to it. I'm expecting to be betrayed, in other words, for some. You take it as it resonates, because I'm feeling it. I'm dealing on different levels here of, oh yeah, I know what that feels like. And then I'm dealing with, oh my God, I can't get over this. It's hurting. I feel both sides. I feel the two extremities going on here. But that's the gift, is to be able to say, I have learned from. And now this is a mastery card. And when I say the integrity, this is what brings us to being able to see what we're made of. In other words, proving our mettle is with this card. Have you got it in you? You're proving it. Think of the Olympics. you know, to get to the Olympic podium or just to take part in the Olympics, you have to sacrifice days, evenings, nights, early mornings, friends and family gatherings. You get up in the morning and you start your day off with, I gotta do my workout, I gotta do my training, I gotta make the mark, I gotta get this lap done in so many seconds, so many minutes, etc. And you work at it until you get it right. And that is the devotion here to the integrity. Coming out of all this betrayal, being able to sacrifice. Again, it is being able to give up something, but you have to do it willingly. Again, this is the pivot. When you're able to just turn and say, okay, I'm changing my mind, I'm going off, and you're doing it without stumbling and having to break rock to get through, or or not feeling that ball and chain connected to you. For some, it's like that, where you go, well, I want to go this way, but I gotta carry the house and the car with me. I'm going on a vacation and I'm packing everything and the kitchen sink. I'm gone for 4 days, but I'm taking everything. That is when it's a difficult lesson, to be able to turn and say, okay, I'm going here, I'm doing this, and I'm doing it quick, easy. That is the goal. And once you are able to do that, once you're able to do that, being able to do that is to come through the betrayals of life, that you feel that you've been betrayed. Whether it is you doing it to yourself, you know, telling yourself, I want to do this, and then giving up on it. In other words, like you think it's not going to come to a fruition, so you give up before you could give it a chance. All of that is included in this Ten of Swords. Having worked on things in the past that have not come to fruition and still not giving up is the winning side of losing. Having to see the ship sink and then turn and say, well, okay, I lost it. It's sad, but I'll just move on and do this. I'll just move on. The whole point is to move on. And this is a physical moving on. We say travel, we say journeys, we say leaps and bounds, we say passionate conversations, etc. So what's at the bottom of the deck then? The moon. The moon. Okay. Well, again, the moon is like a timing card. So we're saying good time. Your ships are going to come in. You're going to see that what you've done is worth something because you're discerning. You're going to have that positive reinforcement, even if it is cold, hard, honest truth. You're going to be able to discern and be able to see and take those betrayals and say, I'm going to use this to my favor. All of that. It's funny that it ends on a higher arcana because it's all the lower arcanas here. And this in itself is the moon. Very confusing. Because you're like, well, what? Well, you got to figure out what it is that you are going through or have made plans for that now you find that you must change. Let's see where this goes. Again, with our Emperor. The light of the moon. Our Emperor. Aries. Aries. That Aries. Starting over. Aries is number 1. Focus on. Okay. Just take it up to here. See, we come back to Pisces. We have Pisces with the moon, and then we have Pisces Australis. Okay, the star is lining up. All right, so let's just go this way. Oh, and the 8. So we have, yeah, I laid them out quickly. He says, I just want to see for space and I want to see how much room I really have here. On the view, it's fine. Okay, so we'll just leave this one up here. For now, it's blocking my view. So we have the moon, and here we see it is in time. Okay, now again, this is coming up to strength here. Just these 3 cards. It's all about having that mental and emotional strength, building it up to be able to take the leap forward in timing, again, in time. It's a timing effect going on here. It is hidden as well. We have a lot of hidden behaviors, activities, etc. But I'm not focusing on all of that drama. It's all in the elemental readings, all the drama. But again, it reflects here that we know that things need to change because of all of the intense betrayals that we are witnessing. And again, we're holding up, we're fighting back, we're standing up in what we believe, we're sacrificing, we're giving up something because we know we need to change. And it is all for healing at the end of the day. And this 4 of Swords here, whether it's to heal that conversation or it is to go within and think about what it is you really want and where you want to go for the future, because that's where we are here in this month of January. We're standing on the edge of the future. We're thinking, well, what do I want to do for this year? And then beginning, we see here, this is a beginning. This Aries jumping at me it's not so much of an ego trip. It is more of being in control and standing up and standing in your authority, being able to take authority and choose to change. Now, again, the moon brings in that illusion, but so does the Hierophant with understanding, because it ends there. This is the last card, and then it comes down to the Hierophant, the 4 of Swords. So it is great understanding here, knowledge. Again, we could look at this 3 of Wands and say, okay, we're going off to university. We're going off to learn and do, and I want to get a better education. I want to study law, okay, or I want to study business right here. Okay, because it is about, like I said, it reflects on your own personal project, whether it is to start a new business or to build your own business, whether it is a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, or 4th, or how many ever businesses you want to create. It is all about that. It's spiraling up. It's creativity, passion. Again, that passionate side of us where we want to do something that has meaning in it. Otherwise, it's just day in, day out, same thing, no sense of change, or we don't want things to change. I know the stubborn signs are like, yeah, I don't want things to change, but then they get bored with the routine, especially the ones who don't want to change, and then they create drama and call that change, which is not another conversation. But again, we want to spiral up, and that is what Spirit is giving us here in this lesson. The potential to spiral up is right here. Taking charge. Now we could say after the moon, because we just went through, or we're still going through that new moon phase where on the 11th, today is what? Today is the 13th that I'm doing this. So we're following that impulse from the moon. Again, it was in Capricorn, for business. That wanting to create, that wanting to have that sense of belonging, that foundation, that feeling like I want to build something. That's what Capricorn does, taking charge, making money, focused on making money for some. The truth, again, this I'm searching for, and I want to follow through with the truth about satisfaction and have my satisfaction, to get satisfaction. And again, it comes back to healing conversations. Again, those of us who have experienced breakups in relationships, or time out in relationships, or just discovering the betrayals within relationships, and not, all the secrets have come out. You come to understand that, okay, I need to change. I need to drastically change. And this is where that discerning quality comes in. And it's a key. The key is into making the right choice, because that is what this King of Swords is all about. He's very prominent in the elemental readings, with the end result of coming into healing conversations, dealing with the ego, focusing on work, changing jobs, all of that is going on here. Wanting to move forward, to go into the future and be satisfied. Get satisfaction from conversations. We'll take an oracle on this, because it's a really good lesson in the sense where, first of all, it's different. Thank you, Spirit, for difference. And it is deep within. This is very personal. So it's not about counting on the next person. It is about, what am I going to do now that I have come to understand all of what has been, what I know to be betrayal in my life up until this point. What am I focusing on? Am I focusing on the betrayal? Again, this is another 11 here. This is a 12. So things that we don't know about, what is hidden from us. We're looking in for all of that. Now that we know that we've been betrayed in some cases, we're like, well, I want to know everything now. I want all of the truth. Nothing but the truth. There's Two of Swords here. Going into denial for some of us, and others coming out of the denial and looking for the satisfaction. I want to go forward. I'm looking for, I have my 9 cups. I want my 10th one now. But the only way to get that 10th cup is to heal conversation. And this is in personal or even working relationships with your boss. If you want to make up with your boss so you can get your job back, or you want to go for a promotion, your conversation with your boss is to go to a higher level in the company. All of that is in here. And then, we're still dealing with what we want for this new year. We're still in there. We're still in that mode of what do I want? I think that's the trend of the lessons. If I continue doing lessons for the next few weeks coming up, it's going to look more and more about what I want and how close am I to getting what I want. Thank you, Spirit, for this lesson in change happening before our eyes, learning and understanding and knowing where we stand, integrity and all. It's all in here. What is the oracle message for this lesson? Thank you, Spirit. What is the oracle message for this lesson? Again, it's not therapy, yeah? This is therapy. Creativity. A new beginning. 6. That peace of mind. Well, we're almost there. We're almost there. If we take these 4 swords and these 2 swords, we're on the way, huh? We're on the way to the 6. Again, the satisfaction to bring in that healing, especially in the mind. Releasing, letting things go is in here with this betrayal card. Just because we know that we can, if we're down at the bottom, there's nowhere else to go but up, and the sun comes up. See, that's where I got shifted. I went off the topic when I was starting to talk about this, when I said it's all glum, but we see in the background on the traditional deck that the sun is coming up. It's just cracking for the dawn. So we say the 10 of Swords represents the darkest hour before the dawn, where it's, everything is the worst that it could get. And then all of a sudden, the veil is lifted, and we start to understand that no, there's another day. This is another day, and what happened yesterday is yesterday. In this deck, the winds of change are coming in here, and it is to do with conversation and speaking the truth and thinking out what is right and what is wrong and what I did and what the next one did. It's very, very detailed here. And these 10 swords, this is going through the details, but doing it within, doing it with your mind, even if you're talking with someone else, because this is what this card represents, that you end up speaking and bringing out everything that, hurt, because that's what it's about. Bringing out the pain and getting that satisfaction to have a new beginning, because that's what all of this is bringing us, a new beginning. Again, I was talking about what we want for the new year. See what I read it out. Through the darkness I crossed, and still I found myself in the presence of life. So again, it is like going to the lowest low and finding out that, well, I'm rising up now. And at the look at that. It's so funny, because this was one of the cards that came toward the end of the last reading, I think. Not the last reading, but the last lesson that I did, and I didn't read it out, but it was in the steps. So we're going through the steps gradually, and here we have Pegasus stepping off like the Fool, stepping off into that oblivion with the Sun God, again with the truth, the oracles, and then protection is here. Okay, so we'll look at the honey, because it is the sweetness of life. I mean, and you see her, the third eye even is, we saw that with the goat in the last lesson. It's being able to look at things from a bird's eye view. With this, again, that's how I started off with, where the traditional deck, you're up high on the cliff looking down, and you see the rocks, you see the storm coming, and then you see the ships, and you're contemplating, well, you're gauging, you're gambling, it's going to make it, they're not going to make it, well, if they don't make it, I'm going to do this, and if they make it, well, I'll have everything, etc. And I'll go off and do different things again. That sweetness, the sweetness of you swells in the grace of your pull. Oh, so beautifully lethal. Being able to communicate what you want to the next person. Again, it comes down to the Four of Swords. It is how you do that. Now, we all know about betrayals and manipulation, and Spirit has given us all of this. We understand the concept. We know how to do it, and in most cases, we are involved in betrayals in some form. We're human. if we're not involved in some form of betrayal, then we're not really living. But it is in the experience. It is in the experience. The pull, that wanting to go in and deal with. But it's in how. 18 is with the moon. Now, we can look at this and say in secret conversations we're having, and we're doing what we're doing in secret so we can get satisfaction. We're manipulating conversations so we can get satisfaction. It's all there with the honey. But we're doing it sweetly. We're doing it in a way to provoke, to be provocative, so we can get what we want. Take it as it resonates, because we all have a purpose here to do, and we are going to do whatever it is Spirit has put us here to do. It is not so much that we're going to do, but in how we do, the choices that we make, that understanding. The difference between right and wrong, for example. We know what we are about. And deep down inside, we know that if we are saying and doing certain things to provoke the next person into behaving in a certain way so that we could get what we want, well, that in itself has a consequence. Again, this is justice, right here. This is justice to the highest degree. These two cards. Just these two. So going in secrecy, changing plans, etc., and trying to manipulate the next person for whatever reason, it's going to bring the results that we deserve to get. But at the end of the day, we're talking. And that is the point. Whether it is you're doing it to manipulate, or you're doing it to help the next person, there is still conversation happening. And then it is where you go from there with the honey. I thank you for showing up, for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. Until our next lesson, love and light.